Hey, how's it going? It's Jordan Harder from Harder Performance, and I'm going through my DMs today to help answer your fitness and performance questions. So, I got this question saying, how can I increase my bench? Or what matters to increase my bench? And it's one of those things, right? Everybody, every guy especially, wants to increase their bench just as much as they want to increase their bank account. So how do we take ourselves from, maybe an average bench or above average bench and increase it over time? So there's three main things that I use in my training and with my athletes to increase their bench, right? So the first one we're going to talk today about is the eccentric, right? First, before we even get into the techniques to increase it, you got to have your form on point. If your form is sloppy, if your form is all over the place, you might be able to increase your bench really quickly, but you're going to stall out and plateau. So focus on form number one every single day. Elbows tucked in, breaking that bar in half, controlling the lower and up. So now that we got the form out of the way, our first real technique to increase your bench is using eccentrics, right? So maybe not every day it's just going for weight. We're going to start learning how to control that weight down. We can only produce as much force as we can absorb. And so eccentric training, otherwise known as like really controlled lowering, is going to help you control that force. So I'll show you right here what a good eccentric would look like. All right, we get our nice setup. Upper back squeezes together. We're going to bench it up, break the bar in half. So the eccentric, we're going to go 6 seconds down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up, 1, 2, 3. So long eccentrics, controlling that weight down, really rowing it into yourself and up. Right? That control lower really makes all of the difference. So you're not going to be able to use as much weight right away, but you're going to build some nice time under tension to help build the muscles to be a little bit bigger so you can move more weight. Second technique we're going to look at is controlling the range of motion, right? So if you're only doing a flat bench every time you go to the gym, your flat bench is going to stall out eventually. So we need to look at different positions and more like techniques of limiting the range of motion. One of my favorite, we can set the same thing up in the rack. We could also use dumbbells, is a floor press. So using that floor press here, we're just going to stop that range of motion, right? That bar is going to be 4 inches above. The dumbbells will be 4 inches above to drive it up. So that control and up. Another way to execute this, right? You could put a foam roller on your chest and control it down. Right, we're just changing the range of motion. The reason why we're changing the range of motion is because oftentimes you're probably getting stuck in your lift midway or at the bottom. So we want to train in those ranges of motion. The third technique we're going to use to raise your bench is going to be speed, right? So when we use our max effort 1 RM every time, we're not getting as much neurological drive. Neurological drive is like our nervous system, how much it fires to produce the weight. So another way, one day you could focus on max weight. The second way, you could be working on speed. So whether it's that same bench, right, we're going to control it down. It's not going to be as low as that 6 seconds, but right there, up. Right, it's going to be a control down, pop, as fast as you can, out of that each time. Another thing we can adjust is we can throw bands right here, connect them to the bottom, and use a banded bench. What the banded bench will do is it's going to keep the weight on the bottom. This is another way to adjust both the speed of the lift and the range of motion. The weight at the bottom will be less than the weight at the top. So where you're the weakest, we will drive out of the hole, and to get your arms speeding fast when the weight gets heavier, when the band's under more tension. Right, so not only will that adjust the range of motion slightly, but you're also going to be able to overdrive and practice firing out of the hole. So these 3 tips, right, using an eccentric, controlling the lowering. Number 2 is we're going to be adjusting the range of motion. Maybe you go for a slight incline on the bench, right? A slight incline might not be a ton, but that would be another way we can adjust the range of motion. And number 3, we're going to work speed. We're going to work neural drive to get our nervous system producing fast and explosive motion. So 3 tips to increase your bench. Check it out. Try it out. Let me know if you got any more questions. Peace out.